stop. Elaborate. I sit back with a brand new ambition. Something that's a whole new type of flow like a hawk through Dilly and Nike. Do this stream or come on. Will it stop yo? I don't know. Turn up the light and I flow. Do the stream or come out like a van through. Let on stage wax the chomp like a candle. Ice, ice, baby. Dum 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 dum.
So we could call him Vuyo. We could call him Vuyo, or we could call him Gaddafi. Obviously, you know who he is. It's a pleasure to have you with us. Thanks for coming, Vuyo. Enjoy it.
Appreciate it. So, Dream School, what does it mean for you guys?
Here's the door. Dream School's the key to unlock it and get to where you need to be.
It's a school where you are taught to dream again. After everything that you've gone through, you are reminded that dreams are very important, and you're just motivated again to start dreaming.
Wow.
You get to know who you are. You get here, you feel at home.
But is there such a thing as failure? Yeah? Okay, explain to me.
Failure is when you don't achieve the things you do and then you just give up on it. That's failure.
That's failure, right? You got me.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
You fail, right? But it's just a turn. It's just a journey, right? And failure is actually education, right? So you actually learn that, okay, I could actually have done something this way, but I didn't do it this way. You find things about yourself, right? So it's not necessarily failure, it's actually learning something and actually becoming a better person, right? But what I actually wanted to talk to you about is, what they call, doing what you don't want to do. I'm sure you've heard that, right? Have you guys heard this before? Yeah. Doing what you don't want to do so that you can do what you want to do. What kind of life do you want to live?
Regarding my career, I would like to make my own choices, because if my parents choose a career for me, I know that I won't do it with all my heart. There won't be love for what I'm doing. So I think my focus won't be on that thing that I'm doing. But if I chase my dreams, I'm gonna put all my focus on it.
I want a life where I have time and money, because you can have a lot of money and not have time, and you can have less money and a lot of time. So I want to have time and money.
Best of both.
Yes.
Okay. But then you can't necessarily do that if you cannot do what you don't want to do. If you don't force yourself to do what you don't want to do. Right? That's the equation.
I don't want to do. I don't want to study.
You don't want to study.
Yeah, but what I want to do, in order for me to do what I want to do, I have to do what I don't want to do.
Yeah.
In order for me to do that.
Yeah. What happens when you leave here?
I think we're so used to being here now that if we go home, it's going to be different now. It's not going to be, it's going to be something else now again that we have to get used to.
Scary.
I think, for me personally, I think I didn't realize that I'm stronger than I thought I was. I've met two of the most incredible people I could have ever imagined I was going to be able to meet. I just didn't think I was fortunate enough to be in a position to meet them. So going from here, I think I'm going to be much more persistent in what I want to achieve.
I mean, Dream School isn't going to get us where we want. It's teaching us what we need to do to get where we want. So when you get back, you need to change, you need to get back up at your work, you need to do whatever you need to do to not stay the same. Like I said, dream school is what we've learned here as a means to an end. We need to use what we've learned instead of just throwing it away.
Right, I'm gonna tell you a story about, you know, a guy who saw like a really rich guy. And then he thought, wow, I wanna be like this guy. Yeah? So he walks up to this guy and he says, you know, I really want you to teach me, you know, how to be, you know, rich. And the guy says, okay, fine, meet me tomorrow at the beach. The next morning he gets to the beach, he sees the guy, he says, okay, fine, I mean, I want you to teach me how to be rich, you want me to be here. So he says, okay, come into the water. And then he calls him and 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 he calls him into the, you know, into the deeper end. And so he looks at him and he says, okay, how bad do you want to be rich? How bad do you want to be successful? Basically.
I know.
Yeah?
I know.
You know that stuff. So he takes his head and then he dunks in the water, and then he keeps in there. Flails and fights, and you know he wants to, you know, he's dying. You know, he's dying. I'm dying. So he keeps in there, keeps in there. And then he brings him up and he says, okay, how bad do you know, what is the one thing, you know, when you are underwater, what is the one thing that you wanted? You wanted to live, right? So he says to him, if you can want success, if you can want riches as much as you wanted to breathe when you're underwater, then you will be successful.
I think in
Yeah,